Hey everybody, this is Talia. Not a normal video that I would normally post, and many of you are probably sleeping, getting ready for work, but I know many of you will watch this later. Hope everybody is doing well. I had some stuff happen in the last month that I figured I've been very quiet about, and I know a lot of people that I am close to that I don't get to talk to all the time, who I know would want to know what's going on. I just haven't had the time or energy to reach out to, so I figured it'd be easier to just go live. Most of my life has been very public, just from singing, having a business, having been with Jan and losing Jan and doing the ride. So I feel like because my life is so public and much of what I do is very transparent in my journeys of health and fitness and life and stuff like that, I feel like me addressing it so there's squashing any rumors that go around, for me to be transparent so people that I care about know what's going on. And so that if what I'm going through, like things I've gone through in my past, how I handle them, what I do with it, helps motivate other people to do something different than what they're doing or better than what they're doing, then I'm happy to share it, as uncomfortable as this current moment is. So I wanted to fill people in. I was involved in an accident on August 7th, so 4 weeks ago tonight. It was not a car accident. I've heard so many rumors of like what happened to me and things like that. I was with my good friend Court, and we were up watching the diesel truck pools up at the Wayne County Fair, and we had gone out for a little bit. We decided to stay at our friend's house up that way just because it was late. We didn't want to drive back, and we were just trying to be smart about that and just head back. And I fell down a flight of steps from the basement going up to the first level of the house and landed at the bottom on concrete on my skull. And so I have endured a lot of injuries since then, and it's been 4 weeks today. And really, this past 4 weeks, I spent 9 days in the hospital. I was brought down to, love you, Holly. I was brought down to Geisinger in Danville because of the extent of my injuries, and was there for 9 days, had surgery, and then came home. I've been home since, so I figured, let me just tell everybody what happened, what I've been going through, what I've been doing with it. I had not my last appointments, but my last of my first follow-up appointments with all my surgeons and stuff in Danville today. That's where all of my team is, because that's where I was for 9 days. So when I fell down these steps, which is crazy, I guess it could happen to anyone. I don't remember falling down the stairs. I lost about 14 hours of my life that I don't remember. My brain kind of erased it because of the head trauma. I broke my clavicle in 3 places, displaced and fractured it. I'm going to show you pictures because they're gnarly. I broke 2 of my posterior ribs, completely crushed, displaced. I think they're secretly trying to kill me. I fractured a bunch of ribs on my side. I broke my middle finger, but I fractured my skull in 5 places. Both sides of my occipital lobe, apart, I can't remember what it's called, begins with a P, that sits right at the base. It's like an L, is a 1/4 inch from breaking my neck. And I fractured, love you guys, my temporal lobe right behind my ear in 2 places. And that's where I landed, was right here. And I immediately started bleeding from my ear. I was knocked unconscious for a while. Courtney, I think, was doing mouth to mouth, trying to do CPR. I was alive, but it took a while to get me to CMC, which is where they did all of my CAT scans and stuff like that. When they saw the amount of extension of the temporal lobe that I fractured, they decided to send me to Danville. So I'm going to show you, because I'm a picture person. If you have a squeamy stomach, it's really not that bad. So this was my clavicle. It's about 2.2 centimeters broke and then fractured here. And this was actually separated. So where I broke my temporal lobe, you can see is very big fracture here, which is where most of my trauma has come from. Oh God. I also suffered a subdural hematoma, so I had a brain bleed, which is now dissipated, and I don't need brain surgery or anything like that. But where the big extent was when I fractured my temporal lobe, I damaged a bunch of stuff. You can see this fracture right here. This is your carotid artery canal, what feeds your brain. And all through in here is where your hearing organ is. So your cochlea, your three ear canals. I fractured and broke my inferior ear canal and the cochlea, as well as my joint of my jaw, like where the jawbone sits. And then today I got to see my ortho. They went and did plates and screws. I have 8 screws in here in my collarbone, my clavicle, and I've got a pretty gnarly incision. So I had surgery on the 14th. So I had all the bandages taken off today. It's very uncomfortable. They told me it was going to be a 3-inch straight line. They lied. It's super uncomfortable. My ribs have been the most uncomfortable. I can lift 5 pounds. I've been doing a lot of rehab on my own. But the biggest trauma is the temporal lobe. So when I fractured here, I severed my balance nerve, which allows your brain to kind of, in your body, to know where you are in space. Being that I exercise for a living and that I am in great shape and I teach yoga and I take care of my body, when I went for my balance testing, they said I was at the 80%, as if I just finished a month or 2 of physical therapy. And, and I was only a week post falling. And so I was really grateful that I had the fitness level that I had, because I would be really screwed with my balance. Along with the head trauma, I have compression on my facial nerve, which you can tell my face is paralyzed. So I have 70% paralysis. The facial nerve itself is not severed or damaged, but there's compression still on it. It looks like Bell's palsy or like a stroke, which there's physical therapy you can do for that. Unfortunately, the facial nerve is not the same. So this could be permanent. It could come back. It is getting very slowly better. My face is not as droopy as it was before. But you can tell, like, my eye doesn't close. I have to tape my eyelid shut to sleep. Because my eye doesn't close, I get to wear these really beautiful moisture patches that you wear underneath your glasses. I can't wear contacts because it keeps air from getting into your eye, because your eye is constantly open. So when I'm outside, it's really uncomfortable. So your balance comes from hearing on both sides, seeing on both sides. So not being able to see, my vision's fine. It just gets really blurry from all of the ointments and stuff. I am need stock and Systane eye drops. But obviously this is the first thing that people see. And it's the most uncomfortable, personally, to be seen like that. Smiling, laughing is uncomfortable. The muscles in my face are really tight. I can feel my face. That's the transgeminal nerve. It's cranial nerve number 7. That's being compressed. So the other big thing is that when I fractured and I damaged the cochlea and the inferior ear canal, it severed my hearing on my left side. So I'm unfortunately permanently deaf in my left ear forever. So that's a big adjustment. So now all of my hearing only comes from my right side, and my brain doesn't know where things are coming from. So I've just got the clear to now go to audiology and find out, try the bone conduction hearing aid, where they put a device at the bone here and it transmits all the hearing over to the other side, which I have to try that before I do anything else. And then I think that I would rather do a cochlear implant, because then I can hear from both sides, and down the road, if I lose my hearing ever at old age on my right side or have an issue, then I still can have hearing on my left. Oddly, I went to college for speech pathology, audiology, and sign language. That I was like, man, I never used my degree. And now I'm like, oh, well, I went to college for 4 years to learn how to take care of myself. So I'm grateful from that standpoint that I can understand what's going on. as far as the eye goes, depending on how much of the paralysis goes away, which they said usually like 6 months to a year, 6 months, they'll know, what you're going to get back, because what are you going to get back? And I'm literally doing anything and everything I possibly can over the last 4 weeks. It's 4 weeks today or tonight, that I can to help it, even if it doesn't necessarily make it go faster or fix it. I'm doing it to help it heal better or be less uncomfortable. I could do a surgery, which I talked about today, which I might do sooner than later, where they can put a gold plate in your eyelid to help the eye close and blink, which would protect my eye from getting scratching the cornea, which I've already done from this lovely patch, or losing my vision, double vision, things like that, which I don't want to see happen. But my eye is definitely the most uncomfortable. With my shoulder, I'm a month in. I go back in another month, and then I can start physical therapy. So obviously my job, that I do body work and I pick people up for a living, is on a big halt. So I'll talk about that in a sec, but I'm literally doing physical therapy. My swallowing's affected. I aspirate on some foods and water, so I'm doing a swallowing study on Monday. So I've taken the initiative to do those things. I'm seeing a physical therapist for neuro work and craniosacral work. I've done acupuncture, Reiki, emotion code therapy, reflexology, fascial stretch therapy, massage, Thai massage I just made an appointment for. So I'm literally doing everything I can. I've been uncomfortably walking outside almost every day just to get used to being with all of the auditory sounds. Being outside or in public is very uncomfortable. Everything's heightened, so like if the air conditioner's on, if you heard birds chirping, bugs going, like that's, I hear all those higher frequencies. I would assume it's a lot different for someone who grew up not being able to hear versus someone who has been able to hear and now you can't. Singing, I've been trying to sing. My voice sounds the same. It didn't affect my vocal cords. It just affected my epiglottis, which protects food from going into your airway. But when I sing, all I hear is ringing in my ear where I'm deaf, and I feel a lot of vibration in my head, and I can't hear anything around it. So that's hard. So the thought of like singing for Supercross or playing violin and stuff like that is hopefully down the line, I'll find a way to do it, and it's just going to be different. But we'll figure it out. So some things I learned from this, being in good shape and good health helped me a ton, especially being strong and having lifted weights. I lost about 16 pounds. So I've run into people. I see one on here who didn't recognize me because they're not used to seeing me with glasses, and I lost weight, and obviously my face is different. So today I was walking and someone's like, dude, what the hell did you do to your shoulder? So it's a good scar to have a good story and maybe a future tattoo with in the future. Having things in place financially, being that I can't work, I have no clue what my bills are. People have been asking how they can help. I don't need anything. I don't know what I'm even going to need, to be honest, just prayers. Come visit. If you want to do something, send me a bottle of Sustain Hydration lubricant eye drops that are preservative free, because I've gone through 10 bottles of this already and they're not cheap. So I will take a bottle of these. That'd be great. But just having like disability insurance and stuff like that, like I didn't have some of those things in place. There are things available, so people have been great to tell me like what's available and helping me. And now that my those initial appointments are done as of today, that's what I'm focusing on moving forward. I have an emergency fund, like I have stuff, just to help. So I'm not really, God will help me figure it out. I've been kind of laying low. I've been going and doing things, but just where I feel comfortable with who I feel comfortable. I put myself in some uncomfortable situations, loud environments that I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. I tried that and I'm good now. With work is the big thing. So my members know, for the most part, all my clients know. My instructors have been great in helping cover classes. I'm hoping to start back, if not this Thursday, Monday, with the classes that I can teach without doing them because I'm limited in what I can do balance wise and lifting wise. So obviously I'm not gonna be able to stretch clients and do body work. However, I have a girl, Jessica, who was already in the process of coming on board. So she's been helping me with my clients that want to still stretch while I'm on the mend. And I'm going to be moving all of the stretching stuff out of the church and moving it to the fitness studio. And I've been studying for something called EGOSCU, which is a posture alignment specialist training, which I'll be doing when I'll be able to do that while I'm in the men's, so I'll have time now. I literally said the day I fell that I'm not gonna be able to finish this training unless something happens to me and I'm stuck here for a while. So I put that out in the universe. That's probably my fault. But there'll be some things in the works with the studio, doing a little bit more recovery work, Normatec boots and different opportunities for my clients. So if you're already a client of mine, if you have reached out to me and I've not gotten back to you, this is why, and I will now as this week moves forward. Some people have been asking me about Jan's ride, which we retired after year 15, but last year we did a day of remembrance, which we were planning to do on September 8th. We are not going to do that this year, and I will post some ways that you can donate to Jan's ride to still help veterans this week. Just this aside, because people are asking, what can, are you still going to do something? It's really hard for me to be outside and I can't lift anything, and people are really busy, and I'm just really focused on just staying healthy and doing as much as I can to get better faster so I can get back to work, honestly. A lot of people have been asking like how my mental health is. It is what it is. Like, it sucks, I won't lie. People are asking like, where were you? Who are you with? What are you doing? I'm not drinking. Whether I fell because I was drinking or not, it can happen to freaking anyone. And, I didn't want to drink anymore anyway. My family has an addictive personality. My dad actually died 3 years ago today, falling down a flight of freaking steps. He fell in April and then died after 4 months in the hospital, alone. Was an alcoholic, and yeah, I don't want to end up like that. And I freaking fell down the steps myself. So, nothing ever really came good from drinking, and I've lost important relationships that mean more than anything that I've ruined because of that. So it doesn't matter. So no, I'm not drinking, and just really just trying to stay mentally as strong as possible. Honestly, I feel like we all go through shit, and if we had to put all of our shit on the table, we'd probably take our own stuff back. And I feel like I've been through a lot, so I know what being strong looks like. Everyone, I can see your comments and I appreciate it, that I'm so strong and this and that. Sometimes we just don't have a choice. I remember once someone said, you either play the hand you've been dealt or you fold. And I want to work and I want to be able to still continue to help people. And I feel like I was on the right path of doing what I was doing. I don't know what that's going to look like, not being able to hear, and whether this is permanent, and hopefully, I don't think it's going to be, but it might be, and we'll figure it out. So a lot of things look different, literally, figuratively. But I think that this is like the amount of time, this time right now healing has just helped me figured out what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. I had a pretty clear path of what that is, but I know it's going to look a little bit different moving forward. So I've been kind of documenting like what's been going on the last month. My friends who have been by my side and family, I appreciate all of you guys. You know who you are. And it's meant the world to me. And if I haven't reached out to you and you're seeing this for the first time, please don't take offense to it. It's been a lot. And I just needed a minute or 4 weeks to figure it out, and just to stay like in the moment or present of what I'm doing and going through. I feel like I've got a pretty good head on my shoulders with it, and I feel like, you know, if it happened to somebody else, they may not be able to handle it the way that I have. I'm just grateful that I was healthy and that I'm healthy and have the resources and the connections with people that are willing to help me. So I don't really need anything. Like, I'm getting around good. I think I look better than what people expected that had heard what's going on or had heard. I heard like I was in a motorcycle accident and paralyzed, car accident, half my body's paralyzed. Somebody hit me, somebody pushed me down the stairs. I jumped down the stairs. I heard so many different things. So I just figured, let me just let everyone know what's going on, especially if you are a member of the studio or like have reached out and you haven't heard from me. This is why, but I'm good. Just send prayers that this all heals the way it's supposed to and as fast as possible. If you know someone who's gone through something like this, facial paralysis, that has done something, feel free to send me a message. I'm willing to try anything. Yeah, if you want to do something, like I said, Systane eye drops, lubricant eye drops for hydration that are preservative free, perfect. Or come visit me and bring lunch or something. I'm cooking. Yeah, I'm doing well. And yeah, so I wanted to read something because I was, Jay's mom sent me this book when I was in the hospital. And every day it says like a new message. It's called Starting Your Day Right. And today's was having a new direction. It says, sometimes we come to an unhappy place in our lives. If we examine ourselves on those days, we will most likely discover that the things that make us most unhappy are the fruit of the choices that we made earlier. Today can be a new start. I think God gave us 24 hours a day because he knew that's all we could handle. His mercies are new every morning. You can start over this morning and live today for the Lord, determined to follow wherever God leads you and do whatever he tells you to do. And you can expect better tomorrows when you live right today. So whatever message I'm supposed to send or learn or teach or pass on with this craziness, I don't even know. But if you didn't know what's going on, now you know. And if you see me posting, me working out with blood pressure, you know, B3 bands, blood restriction bands, and doing all this weird stuff, moving forward in my stories or online, this is where it's coming from. Like I said, if you know something else that might help, feel free to share it with me. But I see all your words, you know, below. I appreciate all of you guys for sending love and prayers. Those of you that have sent cards, some people have sent like gift cards and stuff, flowers, food. I so appreciate it. But I'm good. And feel free to reach out to me if you have questions or just want to chat. I've got a lot of time. But now is the time, this point moving forward, now that all these appointments is really like physical therapy, healing, and moving forward. So keep in touch, and I'll make sure that I keep you guys in the loop moving forward. Love you guys. Have a good night.